Welcome back. Okay, so now I have a guide with me. I know exactly where I went wrong and which choices I should make. So we're gonna get the best in now. I think this is the second choice. The first one I did right. I think I said try again the first time here. So I'm gonna say that's probably enough. I figured that was enough embarrassing myself for today. And now you know I'm sorry, I swear I'll never do that again. Shane's trembling stopped, a warm smirk plastered on his face. Thanks. That was all he said before departing for his next class. Later that day at lunch, he had lamented over how awful the school fish and chips were. And then, I'm gonna go skip. Spicy thing. Spicy fish. Beep beep boop boop.
Well,
At least say something. It seems like you're just using me. He narrowed his eyes. Why would you say that? You haven't liked me for all this time, but now because of my hair you want to draw me? I chose you for a reason, but that's not... Whatever, fine by me. Jane turned half away from me and I picked up my food. I'm gonna skip some more, because we have already seen this. What happened? Nothing. Don't worry about it. Sorry, I didn't look at chat for a bit. It's the same guy that you used, yes. Sleepers for the week. You're gonna go to bed? Have a good night. You like sleep. Of course. I didn't watch his run. Nope. I should watch it now that I have seen most of it. Like, I'm gonna finish the route now. So now I can, like, watch it without being afraid of getting, of seeing spoilers. Nothing to worry about. Shane shoved the paper into his pockets. Thank you. He put away his supplies, gingerly picking up the portrait. I need to drop this off. And then skip. Okay. Ask someone for help. I'll be right back, I'm going to get the nurse, okay? I hesitated a moment and then mentally smacked myself for assuming he would respond. Bowled from hall to hall until I reached the nurse's office and threw open the door. I may just have killed someone! Mr. McPasta hunched over a piece of paper at the desk, straightened immediately. You did what? Crumpets, Shane, friend, little grilled pancakes, and feelings and emotions, and just please hurry, he's choking! Okay, night, Brock. The nurse jumped to his feet and immediately strode out the door. Lead the way. Our steps weren't loud against the concrete, but as we neared the cafeteria, Shane's hacking coughs became clearly audible. Shane! Did I really kill the boy I liked with my cooking? Was life brought to a cold end by my warm spongy cakes? I thought I was fast enough. I thought I could have made it back before anything serious happened, but in reality I abandoned him when he needed me the most. The nurse ran in ahead of me. Just as I rounded the corner, I heard a massive gasp. Not quite a gasp, an exhale. Shane was doubled over, gasping for breath, his hands around his neck. Mai stood behind him, one hand on his back. Is it all out? It's fine. Just need a drink. He peered at something on the floor. A cluster of soggy and broken crumpet. Something violently green was poking out of it. I knew where Mai's missing finger went. Her itty-bitty kitty's head smiled at me from the mush. Hopefully she didn't want it back. I wanted to say something to Shane, but now no matter how I tried, I couldn't make my body move. Mr. Pasta gently stood Shane straight.
Are you feeling alright?
Are you okay now? Shane nodded, still trying to catch his breath. We should probably do an examination back in my office. When you feel ready, come on up. Mr. Pasta nodded at him, then left the room. I was surprised he didn't stick around, but as the sole nurse in the school, it was probably bad for him to leave the office for too long. He leaned against the chair, much of the color returning to his face. When he finally looked up, at least somewhat well, he turned to the door.
Shane.
Shane!
Oh,
I'm gonna open the window because it's so warm in here and I'm getting a headache. Hana, that's enough. It's probably best you give him some time to recover. That was a pretty horrific incident. Can't believe I just ran off. I feel horrible. Please, if Mai hadn't shown up when she did, then you would have been his only hope. This was the best way you could have helped. It's scary, but it could have been a lot worse. None of us knew what to do. So honestly, thank you, Hana. Jared was as suave as ever, even at a time like this. Lucky I got here when I did. But it's not like a few more seconds would have actually killed him. She smiled nervously at me. My distress was more apparent than I thought. Don't think too hard on it, Hana. It's just another lesson learned for cooking. She and Jared chuckled. I couldn't help but smile. Just a little. I just hoped Shane was alright. Gil followed me like a hunting dog. Then Skip. Darn. Let's see. Let it be? Oh, we're not gonna apologize? What? Okay. I should just let him be. The others were right. He would come around eventually. But as time went on, my faith in Shane started to shake. A straight week passed and he still hadn't spoken to me. Everyone kept telling me not to worry and that Shane wouldn't be mad. That Shane was the type of guy to let it get to him, or that I had to let him cool off. But at this point, I wasn't worried about him cooling off. I was worried about me. I can get it out of my mind. At lunch in class, I was always staring at him and wondering whether we were cool. I almost never saw Shane in the mornings anymore. He always slipped into class before the bell rang. That's why, when I saw him rushing into Poppy that morning, I found myself hesitating.
Hey!
Hey, go on without me. I need to grab something real quick. Really? But... Sorry. So I slipped away after him, following him through the halls. I had to finally talk to him. I couldn't live with this on my mind every hour of every day. I kept a bit of distance between us, hoping he wouldn't turn around and see me. Would this be easier if I had a disguise? I eyeballed a trash can in the middle of the hall. Shane turned up the staircase ahead of me. I waited a minute before following him up to a heavy door, leading outside to the rooftop. You have a rooftop? I had no idea this place even existed. Even Gerard, of all people, didn't show it to me on the tour. Was it secret? Were students not meant to know about it? I peeked out the window set inside the window, but all I could make out was the bright turquoise of Shane's snow boots jacket. He was crouched over something. What was he doing? I took a deep breath and pushed open the door as silently as I could. He needed space. It shocked you too, okay. Shane stood over a box lined with blooming flowers, watering can in mind in hand. I'm thinking of a watering can. I was watering the plants. A light breeze swept across the rooftop.
Hey.
There's a different line here, I know. Don't be. I clasped my hands together, watching Shane water the plants. It was just the two of us in the sky. It didn't feel weird at all. Usually the silence between us made me uncomfortable, and I spent all my energy trying to fill it. But this was nice. You weren't ignoring me then. That's a relief. Oh no, I was. What? Then I got this job. I was hoping we wouldn't acknowledge it. So that in that sense, it makes sense to not write a letter, I guess. I lifted up his watering can and started pouring it out on a single flower. For a while. I didn't know how to approach you. I know you felt bad. So much time passed, and there was no way not to acknowledge it. At least you don't hate me. Of course not. Okay, and then we can skip ahead. Ooh! Oh. Nothing, forget about it. That was correct. That was also correct. Take as much time as you need. Oh, did I do everything else correctly? Oh, that's cool. Ask her to double check. Of course you can bring it. I agreed to be your model a while ago. I'm not going to back down now.
Yeah.
Great. I've been practicing. I want to see if I can improve what I've done of you. I like to see it too. I want to start up my comic again. This is for good practice. We reached the entrance to Primrose House, shaking the ground aimlessly. Well, I'll see you tomorrow then, I guess. Thank you for walking me home, Shane. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. Yeah. Me too, I guess. Anyway, I'll come cook with you tomorrow morning. Sounds good? Yeah.
Bye.
Great, bye. And they're gonna cook. This is really cute. I should be okay. This. Now we're gonna see Shane win.
Yeah.
By the time I found him, Shane was already sitting down next to Jeff. A large projector screen stood at the front of the room, which was lined with dozens upon dozens of chairs. This is apparently quite a popular event. Seeing the other Normal Boots members gathered together in one of the front rows, I dashed up next to them and grabbed a seat. Hana, ready for this? Sat up straight and cheered on Shane with the rest of Normal Boots. He chose his racer. He picked Sal, an anthropomorphic salamander with black skin and orange spots, my personal favorite. He was the lightest and made sharp turns. Jeff picked Frogbert. He was a massive frog, quite the opposite of Sal. His turns would be wide, but his acceleration speed let him go fast if he wasn't turning. It was a hard character to play, and if you knew how to play him correctly, he could be considered the best. It was fun, and Mai loved him, but Mai was terrible with any character. I had first-hand experience of this. Each person chose their own track, and then there was the final track, Rainbow Race, the dazzling multicolored spectacle inspired by the prettiest acid trip ever taken. To my great surprise, rather than the regular MC presiding over the race, it said PPG stood in the front of the room and grabbed a microphone. Okay, each racer has chosen their best tracks, and now we're starting. Who do you think will be the winner? Probably Shane. Hey, Jeff has just as much chance as Shane does. Gucci laughed. You're right, you're right. May the best man secure the win for their team. Small tadpole floating in a bubble of water rafted from the side of the screen, counting down to the start of the race. 3, 2, 1. Yuji pulled out a checkered cloth and waved it wildly as the tadpole squealed, Go! Jeff and Shane both spun out at the starting line. What the fuck, PBG? Where'd you even get that? PBG shoved the flag to the floor and grinned sheepishly. I always wanted to do that. That's fine. Just don't do it again. The first race was Jeff's choice, and felt more like a drag race than anything else. It was one straight line, but there were a lot of obstacles to avoid on the track. Jeff won, unsurprisingly. Sal just bounced everywhere. Luckily, Shane pulled into a tie in the next race, where Frogbird's inability to make short, quick turns really pulled a number on him. Finally, it was time for the Rainbow Race. I could see the strain in Shane's face, jaw clenched tight. You can do it, Shane! A slight smile crossed his face. Then the race was selected. PG raced his checkered cloth again. No! 3 seconds after the word left their mouths, the race began. Shane started off in the lead for an entire lap until Jeff hit him with a blue shell. He sped ahead of him. Dirty move!
Yeah,
You snooze, you lose! Or, you Shane, you strain? Don't do this to me, Jeff. Shane was now struggling to catch up to Jeff. I bit my lip. Shane, kick his ass! In the last 3 seconds, Shane pulled ahead and crossed the finish line in first place. John jumped up from his seat and hugged PG, nearly knocking him over. Jeff shook Shane's hand, pulling each other into a bro hug. John lifted a fist into the air, bellowing through the room. Yeah! Normal Boots wins! After a few minutes, the cheering died down. Shane, face still slightly pink, approached me. Thank you for the support, Hana. And good job. What? You mean you're not mad at me? Why would I be angry with you? You up and walked out in the middle of my event. Oh, right. Sorry. I didn't want to make you nervous and ruin your event. I glared at him. I didn't buy that. Apparently Gerard didn't either. But Shane, I thought you said it was Hana that made you nervous, not the other way around. Shh. Oh well, that makes more sense. Shane smacked his own face, then shoved Gerard away from us. I smirked at him. I get weird feelings when you're around, and I was afraid it would compromise my racing skill. You mean butterflies in your stomach? It's so cute, Shane. Those are normal. Well, they need to get out. They need to get out. Shane and I ambled around the arcade, playing random games as time went on. We recited an almost encyclopedic knowledge of every game we encountered, so much that it made my head spin. Did you know? There are only 40 copies of this cabinet in existence. No, Shane, I did not know. Finally, it was time for the MC to announce the winner of the tournament. We all crowded around him as he preened in the spotlight, a bright grin on his face. Thank you all so much for attending our tournament this year. Did we win? Both Shane and I won our events. Not everyone won our events, though. Really? Now the winner of this year's tournament is the Normal Boots Club! Yay! Yes! Yeah. We did it! I screamed and clapped, and we swarmed on stage. The poor MC didn't know what hit him. As we celebrated, Jared grabbed the microphone. All right. Everyone, I'm pleased to announce that we have a new member in our midst. Hana Mizuno, where are you? Shane took my hand and gently led me to the front of the stage. The crowd cheered as I tried to find somewhere to hide my face. Welcome to the club, Hana. Something warm and soft covered my shoulders. I turned to see Shane lifting my very own normal boots jacket over my shoulders, a blush lighting in his face. Welcome to the club. Shane. When the celebrations finally ended, Shane and I walked back to Asagao hand in hand. I told you I could do it. You did. I'm proud of you. Are we still on the picnic tomorrow then?
Yeah.
Of course. I'll pick you up then. I think... Shane stopped mid-sentence, only blinking at me.
Bye.
Okay, have a good day. He turned on his heel and stalked away. Again. I hope he wouldn't make a habit of it. Shaking my head and drawing my jacket closer around me, I headed into Primrose House. I almost couldn't sleep. I was so excited and nervous. Mike poked fun at me. Who gets so excited over something as chill as a picnic? But then gave me a soft pink blanket just before we turned it. It's my favorite. It'll bring you lots of good luck. With that in hand, I rose early and got ready for the picnic. I was still sleeping. The tournament took place the same day as one of their biggest games. I doubted she would bother getting out of bed before noon. Shane knocked right on time as always. Just before I went to the door, I passed my new normal boots jacket. With a grin, I slipped it over my shoulders. Newest member of the Normal Boots Club.
Hey.
I see you're up on time.
Yeah.
Of course I am. Ready to go? Yep, I even remembered to pick up our sandwiches. My heart stopped as I turned to the basket in my hands. I forgot! Calm down, Hana, I've got them. He packed the sandwiches on top of the basket, then took it from me with an easy grin. Let's get going. The day wasn't as warm as I would have liked, but at least it was sunny out. The weather report was right for once. As Shane and I made our way to the picnic field, we traded jokes and comebacks. I prepared for today. I was definitely going to impress them. Okay. So if you heard this one, did you know? In the 1999 game, the Tour of Worlds, hackers have been able to dismantle the code in the game to extract symbols. Oh yeah, that was actually in Tour of Worlds too. Geez, fine. But, did you know? They recently cryptographed the symbols and found out they formed a secret phrase.
Really?
Really? It said, I bet you can't decode this. He made a noise akin to something. Hey, Michael. Something coming out of a horse. Dicks. What's even the point? I know, I want it to be something more meaningful. But sound too mysterious, right? Terrible. Good fact. I didn't know that. I beamed, happiness blooming within me. Hey, don't let it go to your head.
Hey.
Does this spot look good? Anywhere is fine. It's up to you. Let's set up over there then. Put the basket down in the grass, and Shane hung the pink blanket over his arm, reminiscent of a butler. Can you lay the blanket down while I get the plate set up? It was colder than I imagined it would be, but I spent so long preparing that there was no way anything big would go wrong. I'd be more than confident in myself. That's what I thought. Right as I pulled 6 spoons out of my basket. There were only supposed to be 2. Something wrong? Shane flapped the blanket open. We watched it float to the ground like a butterfly. Yeah, actually. There are 6 spoons in here. Shane shrugged. So? No, you don't understand. There are 6 spoons. That means... My hands searched the rest of the basket almost frantically. That means there are no forks. That's it. You can make do with it. You don't have many fork-worthy items anyway. He sat down, then started helping me unload the basket. I put a hand out to stop him.
No.
I need to check if anything else is wrong. My voice wavered, but only slightly. Shane sighed and reached behind him. Out of his backpack, he pulled a fork. I wrote this just in case. In case what? In case. You can use it. Alright, thanks. I accepted the fork, but still, it wasn't that I needed a fork, it was that I forgot it in the first place. I tried my best to push it out of my mind, taking our sandwiches from the basket. Might have messed up, but at least I knew these were good. Shane helped me make them after all. Turkey and avocado for me, ham and cheese for Shane. As I relished in my first bite, I tried not to worry. He was right. It wasn't a big deal. The cool breeze invigorated me, and I decided that I was going to have a good time no matter what.
Hey.
How's the sandwich? Good! I smiled, covering my mouth in case there was something in my teeth. As I did, a small wind kicked up. It was a chilly wind, and I shivered. Then a drop of water hit my glasses. Is it raining? Shane paused mid-chew, putting his palm into the air. I don't feel anything. Like him, I gazed up again. There were some clouds, but they were mostly the fluffy white ones. Right, I need to calm down. It was hard to stay optimistic at this point. He must have noticed the look on my face because he slipped his hand into mine. Ah! I smiled at the ground, willing my palms to stay dry. Sorry if my hand is sweaty. We were worried about the same thing? A devilish idea came to my mind. I did my best to hide my grin. It feels like you just washed your hands and barely dried them. Shit! You released his already loose hold and tried to wiggle out of my grasp, but I held on. Nope! Don't worry about it, really. A cold drop hit the top of my head and I looked up. Dark clouds were moving in fast above us, like God drawing a blanket over the sky. Another drop splattered against my cheek. No! Looks like it's gonna rain. No! No! The weather report said sunny all day!
Well...
Sometimes those can be wrong, Hana. I let go of his hand and held my palm toward the sky, daring another drop to fall. Jane's eyes were on the sky as well. Weather reports aren't always accurate. Dark clouds pillared above us, but I still refused to believe it. Shane put his hand out again for me to hold. Let's just go back to the dorm. We can have a picnic another day. It's not a big deal. Not the problem! I know we can have another picnic any day, and I know I can make more fish sticks and crumpets and...
What?
Crumpets? You still on about that? I just wanted one thing to go right, Shane. Just one thing. Everything I've tried to do for you with you ends up a total mess or almost kills you. Maybe some of it was bad luck, but after a while the only conclusion was that I was the problem. A gust of wind blew through. Several droplets landed on me, dotting the lenses of my glasses. Shane seemed at a loss, and I didn't blame him. Not only was the picnic being ruined by rain, now I was ruining it with my stupid emotional outburst. And now I'm making it even worse! My voice cracked. Oh no. The dam broke. My tears fell freely as did the rain, right on cue. Shane put a hand around my shoulders. Even through bleary eyes I could see his jacket getting wetter and wetter. I shrugged off his touch. From the first moment you met me, you absolutely hated me! When I wanted to join the club, you warned everyone against me. When I was asked to be in the tournament, you told me I couldn't do it. I made those crumpets, those damn crumpets! The last thing I wanted was to cause you pain. Soporific skies seemed to be emptying out all they had at this point. Maybe you don't hate me, but... Shane raised an eyebrow at me. Rain dripped off his nose. And this might not have been true, but... Oh no. He said it like it was a warning. He wanted me to spit it out. I balled my hands into fists, gathering all of my courage. I was finally going to tell him. I felt like I was just a replacement for Emily! Shane stared at me in shock. I would have thought time stopped had droplets of rain not continued dripping off his hair. I was so taken aback that I faltered. Was I wrong to feel this way?
No.
You aren't. But... No buts, Hana. Step closer to me. We were only a few inches apart now. You were more than anything I could have asked for. Would have hoped for. Emily was holding me back, and I her. You helped me bloom. With another step, close the distance between our soaked lips. Blood in my mind cleared. A bed of flowers burst to life in its I instinctively leaned into it, that moment feeling protected from the entire world. Shane brought a hand to my neck and pulled me closer, until our soaked garments were warm. Finally, he pulled me away, his thumb resting on my jawline. Beads of water hung off his eyelashes. I do like you, okay? You. It's just hard for me to show it. The darkening skies were interrupted by a clap of thunder in the distance, for an instant illuminating us both in a flash of white light. This is still so scary for me. He was smiling so sincerely that it was hard for me to look at him. But I know I'm okay, because with you. I like you too. But you knew that already, didn't you? He smiled sheepishly and nodded. Most of his year was spent trying to ignore that fact, probably. Shane glanced at the sky, then turned to his magical backpack. He unfurled an umbrella above us, a gentle smile on his face. You! I figured you might forget something like this. Shane! I really wanted to kiss him again. I put my hand to his face and moved forward, our lips connecting a second time. I thought this would happen at the flower festival. Really now? I completely forgot you were going to draw me. You kept saying things like, "Are you ready?" and "Are you okay?" It was suggestive, alright? Shane laughed as I imitated his low, sultry voice. You kept saying things like, "Are you ready?" and "Are you okay?" Sorry it took so long. His apologetic smile warmed the depths of my rain-soaked heart. He put a hand outside of the umbrella, shaking his head. How about we go back to the dorms? I nodded. It was getting cold in these clothes. He held out his free hand and I took it again, this time with no doubts in my mind. I giggled to myself the whole way back. When we got to the dorm, the rain had already darkened the sky to the point where I couldn't tell whether it was day or night. We're not doing anything else tonight, right? No, I'm really tired. Drying your eyes out usually did a number on a person. I think you're always going to be at John's until late tonight. If he trailed off, eyes glued to the floor, I leaned forward to catch his attention. Hands clasped behind my back. Well, I got the new Dog Cop movie. Are you inviting me to watch a movie in your room after co-ed times are almost over? I'm trying. And you think I, Hana Mizuno, the first new Normal Boots Club member in years, am going to risk detention for you? Kane gaped like a fish. Yeah. Well, you thought right. Let's go. I led the way, if only because I was already in front. I opened the door to always clean room. Once again, I put my room to shame. Shane went directly over to his thick and span bookshelf, flipped out a yellow DVD, and handed it to me before grabbing his laptop. The cover of the DVD was a graphic design disaster. The yellow background was so bright it was blinding, overlaid with a terrible red font. Drops of blood hung over the letters symmetrically, and the main character on the front was a police officer with the head of a beagle. This doesn't look good. Shane crawled into bed next to me, pulling a light knitted blanket over us. Swallowed hard. Don't think about being in a boys' bed, Hana. You're just watching a movie. Just a movie. Oh, that's just thinking. You don't think about being in a boys' bed, Hana. You're just watching a movie. Just a movie. Focus.
Yeah.
It's going to be awful. Did you watch the first one? I shook my head. I've never heard of it. It didn't seem like one for indie films either. A friend from England got me into them. I like one of the actors. Nothing happened in the first one, so you're not missing much. I looked down at the cover again, tracing the bloody chew with my eyes. They couldn't even choose a German Shepherd? You know, an actual police dog? Don't trust the dog by its face, Hana. I threw his pillow at him, which he blocked with ease. His sly grin was interrupted by the telltale signs of an itch in the nose. Oh no, getting sick? I realized I was still holding the pillow as if I were going to swing it again. Put it down. Shane winced, fingers pinching his nose. Maybe it's the dust. He eyed the pillow, then the blanket we were sitting under. You know, if you want, I want. I only tried once in this room. Excuse me?
Yeah.
A blanket fort? That did not go where I thought it would. Shane chuckled at my face.
Well,
It is a little drafty in here. Guys, just fuck already! Awesome.
well.
Pillow fort could be fun. He lit up like a Christmas tree. I laughed. Well, get out then! Shane grabbed the blanket I was sitting on, a wicked expression adorning his face. Don't you dare. He pulled. I rolled straight onto the floor, squeaking in surprise. Then I scrambled to my feet, face on fire. Shane! I threw my pillow as hard as I could at him as he clutched his stomach, doubled over with laughter. He yelped a bit and clasped his right pinky, pure pain on his face. Oh shit, I'm sorry! Still clutching his injured little finger, Shane gawked at me.
What?
Did you just say shit? I covered my mouth. Yes, I did. I've never heard you swear before. What have I done? Now that I thought about it, Shane swore a lot around me. I learned from the best. More importantly, your finger, did I hurt it? He made a face and shook out his fingers again. No, I think the pillow just hit it wrong. Man, a broken finger because of a pillow?
What?
It's broken?
No.
No, I was exaggerating. Oh, okay. Achha! I rubbed my nose, eyes tearing up. I don't suppose you're allergic to dust either. Not that I know of. Shane grit his teeth and I looked around his room. Knew exactly what he was thinking. We were getting sick. At least it waited until after the tournament. Yeah, but exams are next week. Great. Stress settled like a cloud over us. That was no good. I grabbed the blanket that Shane pulled out from underneath me. Where should I put this? The fort won't build itself. You know, since I have only one blanket, I took it under Gerard's mattress. As Shane and I built the fort, memories flooded in from the beginning of the year. I was a little upset and homesick and might pull together a fort in our bedroom. Shane hated me back then, but now I was making the fort with him.
Yeah.
Perfect! We stepped back to admire our handiwork, a single blanket hanging from Gerard's bed, and clipped to two chairs. It'd be a lot more perfect if you had more than one blanket.
Yes.
I have a bunch of pillows. He pulled a second pillow from his bunk, immediately chucking it at me. Okay, I deserve that. Raising an eyebrow, I picked it up. Shane pulled another pillow from his arsenal, eyes glinting. There was no pillow fight casual. He was no pillow fight casual. The battle was long and hard, small bits of fluff and feathers exploding from the pillows as we attacked each other. Finally, I was exhausted. Shane bopped me on the head with his pillow, and I was set off balance, falling onto his bed. I couldn't stop the giggles from pouring out of me. You okay? Shane peeked inside the sheet curtain, stretched out his hand to help me up. I threw my pillow at his face. You worry too much. I smiled and laid back against the pillow. Oh! I shot back up and ran a hand over the back of my head. I looked behind me, spitting in my sitting position. My bow!
What?
Huh? My bow, it's gone! I twisted every which I needed my ribbon.
Hey.
If it's that necessary, I'll buy you another one. Thanks, but I need to find this one. He blinked at me, then moved to the other side of the room to search again. I felt bad making Shane tear apart his room for me, so I tried to think of a joke. Why are pirates called pirates? Dang, I already regretted this. I don't know. Why? Because they are. Shane sneezed from under the bed, stood out and looked at me from this position on the floor.
What?
And again, I couldn't hear. Because. Never mind. Raised his eyebrows again. I changed my mind. It was too. Sorry, I mean, I need it for my look. You're cute without it. His compliment bounced off of me, ineffective. I needed my ribbon.
Hey.
If it's that necessary, I'll buy you another one. Thanks, but I need to find this one. He blinked at me, then moved to the other side of the room to search again. I felt bad making Shane tear apart his room for me, so I tried to think of a joke. Why are pirates called pirates? Dang, I already regretted this. I don't know. Why? Because they are. Shane sneezed from under the bed, sat out and looked at me from this position on the floor.
What?
And again, I couldn't hear. Because. Never mind. Raised his eyebrows again. I changed my mind. It was too painful. He chuckled, then crawled back under the bed. I paused, taking another sweeping look around the room, then tapped him on the leg. I think I'm going to give up for now.
What?
Well, why? It has to be in my room somewhere. I'm too worried to do it efficiently. And I felt bad for stressing him out. Let's just get my mind off it for now. Sure. He wheeled up from the floor and sat on the bed. Want to start dog cup then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shane patted the spot next to him, and I sank down to join him. Rested my head on his shoulders and yawned. Oh, but we haven't even started yet.
Well...
I was up all night. Did you mention you liked one of the actors? Oh no, I felt another sneeze coming on. Oh. Inside, reaching into the darkness and dropping a box of tissues in the front of us. As we continued to watch, my neck started to hurt. I shut a bit with a sniffle, trying not to disturb Shane too much. Let me adjust his eyes, still glued to his laptop. I took this chance to sneak closer to him, closing the small distance left between us. I turned to face him, but he was already looking at me, and we both smiled. We weren't movie talkers. Dog Cop, whose name I learned was Boulder, was traveling across the California countryside. He was looking for his long-lost love, miniature schnauzer. Or should I say, miniature schnauzer doctor. A dog doctor. Doctor? Named Peanut. I rolled my eyes. They embraced passionately at the reunion, talking about their future together. After the 12th minute of this, Shane yawned. I nervously touched the back of my head again. Still no bow. So... Or should I say, miniature schnauzer doctor. A dog doctor. Doctor? Named Peanut. I rolled my eyes. They embraced passionately at the reunion, talking about their future together. After the 12th minute of this, Shane yawned. I nervously touched the back of my head again. Still no bow. So, you still think I'm cute?
Yes.
Of course. He turned to me. I kept his eyes on Mr. and Mrs. Dog for as long as he could. Maybe you should try different hairstyles. Find one you like. But I do like a tied back too. He shrugged, gaze flickering back to the touching scene on screen. Maybe I'll grow it out again. Again? It was down to my mid back for most of my life. Until about a year before I came here, actually. What made you cut it? Nothing so specific, it just sort of happened. He glared at me, and I knew that answer wouldn't fly with him. I didn't choose his hairstyle per se.
What?
What? Your dad? No. Then who? I deeply, not wanting to spoil the mood with something like this. Well, I was bullied for most of my life for my hair. We don't have to talk about this if you don't want to. I should have told you this sooner, then maybe... I stopped, but Shane made a face. I bit my lip. Maybe you would have stopped targeting me because of my hair. Not that you still do, but you definitely did earlier in the year. Shane lowered his head, both in acknowledgement and an apology. Okay, now I'm more curious. It was one of the biggest reasons I moved here. He quickly tapped the space bar, pausing the dog's mid-frolic, and then he gave me his full attention. I guess it's story time! I invited my best friend over to a sleepover. Most of my former friend group abandoned me, but she was still there for me. I didn't even originally want to have the sleepover, but my dad insisted. He saw I was struggling and I didn't know what to do. When she came, things were just like old times. She didn't mention any of what I was being accused of. I felt like maybe things would eventually get better. I fell asleep first. I woke up to the sound of scissors snipping. Michelle was holding pink locks of hair and laughing. My hair. She cut it all off. My dad was understanding. He kept telling me it was cute and everyone would like my new haircut. But I didn't go back to school after that. That's why my dad spent all his money to get me into Asagao. It was the only way I agreed to go back to school. Honestly, I didn't think that I'd get in. The day before I left, I was still anxious about my hair. My dad came into my room with a red ribbon. He said it was my mother's. He tied up my hair, and for the first time in a long time, I felt cute. You were always cute. Well, maybe, but I didn't feel that way. I was amazed I didn't cry, talking about all this. It was the hardest few years of my life, but with Shane next to me, it didn't seem too terribly bad. Shane blinked at me for a few moments, and then reached to the side of his bed. Then he tossed a pile of papers into my lap. I read the title, The Best Flower in the Garden. What is this? I opened to the first page. Inside was a watercolor comic about a boy and a girl. The girl had pink hair. She was studying him with a plainly dressed boy who almost looked like Shane. They seemed to be friends. In the beginning, the boy was afraid to get close to the girl, whom I could now put a name to, Emma. Emma had bright beams of light coming off her, and the boy kept trying to reach the girl inside them, but couldn't. He came through page after page, and soon the boy got his own beams of light, one by one, after spending time with Emma. On the last page, they were holding hands in the garden, rainbow lights coming off from both.
Shane.
Shane? Anna, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I should never have judged you or made fun of your hair. Shane, it's fine. Completely fine. You don't think the comic is weird? Of course not. It's beautiful. It really is. I looked down at the cover in my hands, reading the title one more time. Whoops. Remember when you told me in the rooftop garden that your name means flower? The most beautiful flower in the garden?
Yeah.
Of course. He pulled me into a hug, warm and comforting. I buried my head into his chest, inhaling deeply. He was wearing cologne. Oh. Stopped suddenly, pulling back. Something slid out of the back of his jacket. My bowl! It must have fallen down back there. See? You would have found it eventually. I quickly tied the ribbon back into my hair. How does it look? It looked perfect. I buried my head into his chest, out of pure relief. Thank you, sincerely. Gerard is probably coming back soon, and it's past the hours I can be here. Didn't really want to leave and end this roller coaster of a day, but I could understand that he would want me gone. I wiggled around, trying to get to my things at the edge of my bed. Jane wouldn't let go. At least finish Dog Cop. I rolled my eyes, pretending to be mad. Jane saw through it, and I slouched back into his arms. So we finished Dog Cop in silence. Boulder saved the world with his dog guns and crazy dog one-liners. Settled down with his new dog wife, Peanut, on a cozy dog house in the American Midwest. The credits rolled, showing both the name of the human body model and the dog head model. Boulder's Dalmatian sidekick's body was named Shane. I elbowed Shane to get his attention.
Hey!
Oh, look at this name! I didn't get an answer. I leaned over. Shane's eyes were closed. He was breathing softly, the deep breaths of the vulnerable. I too breathed deeply, though mostly awake. The credits finished and the title screen began again. I quietly closed his laptop and tried to get up. Before I could, Shane grabbed my waist and pulled me back.
Hey.
Tomorrow's a Sunday. Your aunt won't mind. I smiled. Could he tell this is what I wanted? Okay. I laid down next to him. Still have butterflies? More than ever. Me too. Ah, if things could stay like this forever, I would be the happiest person alive. I snuggled into Shane's arms, fell asleep much faster than I thought. Ah, best end. Oh, that was so cute. That was awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not gonna stop yet. I'm gonna have a longer stream. I'm gonna stop playing this for now. Next route is gonna be. I'm gonna start next stream. I'm gonna start with the next route, which is probably gonna be John, I think. Let's watch the credits. I'm not gonna sing because the audio is probably distinct, especially after almost 4 hours. Yeah, if I were to sing now, it would sound horrible. I love this music so much. It's awesome. Whoa. The game seems to be a little bit slow. That's weird. Are you excited? Excited? Are you kidding me? I'm absolutely terrified. I've never been on a plane before, let alone flown 12 hours to the other side of the world. Hey. Jane chuckled, taking my hand in his. You'll love it. Once you're in the air, you get all the quiet time you want. And we'll be together. But that means if we crash, I'll lose my life and the life of the person who matters most to me, all in one go. I guess there's nothing I can do to convince you. Jane leaned in and kissed me. As I did, my heart stilled. I lost myself in the comfort of his embrace. After a few seconds, he pulled away. Sly grin on his face. Feel better now? Maybe. I'll just have to kiss you every time you get nervous. Aww. It was so much work, you know that? I shoved him, not even wanting to hear it. You'll have to get used to having me around. We'll be sharing a bed after all. Shane! Just saying, my family's house is tiny and they don't pretend like they don't know what young couples get to. And they don't pretend like they don't know what young couples get up to. Shane! Jane grinned yet again at me. Just saying. The next day I would be in England, eating dinner with Shane's family. Hold on. The next day, I would be in England eating dinner with Shane's family, or more likely, passed out from jet lag. He insisted that I meet his family before we graduated from the academy. I had no idea why, but I had my hopes. Still. Still, no matter what happened or what adventures we faced, I knew I could do it. Because Shane was by my side.
Asagao Academy.
Okay.
Normal Boots Club.
Oh, that was... Sorry for the long pause at the end before, like, those few lines of dialogue. Thank you guys so much for watching. For the ones on YouTube, I'll see you next time. But for those who are watching the stream, I'm gonna play something else. So, if you have any suggestions on what I should play right now, you can do that. Just, if you want me something to play, if you want me to play a certain game, you can just put it in chat. In the meantime, I'll look this up.